Welcome to Stories by Roshko. The Rich Man's Redemption. Alexander stood before his massive mirror, adjusting his black suit and running a hand through his perfectly styled hair. He glanced briefly at the shimmering red Lamborghini parked in the driveway of his sprawling mansion, a symbol of his success and wealth. To the world, Alexander was a man who had it all: money, power, charm, and a luxurious lifestyle. But beneath the facade lay a broken man, torn between his hollow pursuit of glamour and the steady love of his family. Racheal, his wife, was everything Alexander wasn't. Modest, kind, and wise, she exuded a quiet confidence that Alexander had once fallen deeply in love with. She dressed simply in her flowing sleeveless dresses, her long, silky black hair cascading down her back. She was the grounding force in his chaotic life, but Alexander had grown blind to her virtues. His attention was elsewhere, on Olivia, his mistress. Olivia was everything Alexander thought he desired. She was glamorous, with gleaming blonde hair, a dazzling smile, and a magnetic presence. She lived for power, fame, and parties, reveling in the attention she commanded. Alexander was infatuated, blind to the greed and selfishness that defined her. He spent his nights in her company, leaving Racheal at home, patiently waiting for him with their 2 children. Their son, Ethan, idolized his father but had begun to sense the cracks in their family. Their daughter, Sophia, mature beyond her years, quietly observed her mother's pain and her father's growing absence. Yet every night, no matter how late Alexander returned, Racheal waited, unwavering in her love and hope for her family. One evening, Racheal decided it was time to act. Over dinner, she made a simple request. "Alexander," she said softly, "I want you to go to work without your car for a week. Take a cab instead. And tell your friends that the properties and wealth belong to me." Alexander frowned, confused. "Why would you ask such a thing?" "It's the only thing I've ever asked of you," Racheal replied. Her calm demeanor masked the storm brewing inside her. Reluctantly, Alexander agreed. That evening, he visited Olivia, arriving in a cab. Over drinks, he mentioned his wife's strange request, laughing as he told her how he claimed the wealth was hers. Olivia, however, didn't laugh. Her demeanor shifted, her usual warmth replaced by cold calculation. She didn't invite him to stay for dinner, leaving Alexander unsettled. When he returned home, Racheal was waiting at the dinner table. "Why are you still awake?" he asked, guilt creeping into his voice. "I always wait for you," she replied simply. The next day, Olivia wasn't home when Alexander went to see her. For the first time in years, he found himself sitting at the dinner table with his wife and children. They talked, laughed, and shared stories. It was a strange but comforting experience, one that left Alexander with an unfamiliar sense of contentment. As days turned into weeks, Alexander's relationship with Olivia began to unravel. Her interest in him waned when she realized his wealth might not be entirely his own. Her sharp words and disdainful laughter at his wife's simplicity stung him. "Why don't you divorce her already?" she demanded one evening. I don't know," Alexander admitted. But deep down, he did know. Racheal's unwavering love and his children's innocent joy had begun to awaken something in him, a realization of what truly mattered. One evening, Alexander decided to tell Olivia the full truth. "I lied," he said. "The wealth is all mine. Racheal is just a simple woman from a humble family." Olivia's eyes lit up momentarily, but her greed quickly overpowered her. "Then leave her," she hissed. "No," Alexander said quietly, a calmness settling over him. "I won't." Olivia's face twisted with rage. "Get out," she screamed. For the first time, Alexander didn't feel anger or despair. Instead, he felt relief. As he drove home, the mansion no longer felt like a symbol of his wealth, but a place where his heart belonged. He walked through the door to find his family waiting for him, as they always did. This time, he didn't take it for granted. "I'm home," he said, his voice cracking. Ethan and Sophia rushed to him, their laughter filling the room. Racheal stood back, her serene smile lighting up the space. Alexander walked to her, his heart full. "I've been a fool," he whispered, pulling her into an embrace. Racheal smiled, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Welcome home, Alexander." From that day on, Alexander rediscovered the happiness he had long abandoned. He traded his hollow pursuits for the warmth of his family, and in doing so, found a wealth far greater than power or money, the love of those who had never stopped believing in him. The moral of the story is, true happiness and fulfillment lie in cherishing the love and connection of family, rather than being blinded by superficial attractions like wealth, beauty, or power. Real value comes from loyalty, wisdom, and genuine relationships, not fleeting infatuations or materialistic pursuits. It highlights the importance of appreciating what truly matters in life and recognizing the unconditional love and support of those who stand by you through thick and thin. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more stories.